morning, everybody. We're out here again this morning. We're gonna do an update on this truck. We finally got some things done. We finally got some things fixed. We're gonna go over a little more history of this truck with y'all. Um, Give y'all a little more backstory on this truck. It's actually pretty crazy. For those of you that's been watching, this is our '05 GMC Sierra. You can see that it has the HD cat eye front clip on it. When we got this truck, I traded a Yukon for this truck. Um, the guy was asking about 8,000 for this truck, and he told me the only thing wrong with the truck was it was leaking transmission fluid at the gasket in between the transfer case and the transmission. Well, it ended up being the transfer case adapter was busted and the whole tail housing of the transmission was busted. Um, so when I took the transmission out to go have it rebuilt, went to look down an exhaust leak. It ended up being 3 bolts broke off into the head. So 2 on this side, 1 on the other side. So I had to take the engine out anyway. So we took the engine out. I said, while we're here, let's go ahead and rebuild it. So we done BTR cam, we done beehive springs, billet molly push rods, Velcro gaskets all the way through, new oil pan gasket, new time and chain gears, of course time and chain cover gasket, front seal, rear seal. I mean, we've done it all the way through the truck, through the engine rather, especially, well, the top end. We did not touch the bottom end, as you know, people who've been watching, you've seen that. And we got it all put back together. And then we put about 100 miles on it after we had it tuned and everything. And going down the road one day, we lost our gears, it quit pulling. Transfer case adapter had busted again. We leaked all our fluid before we realized what had happened. So we pulled the transmission out again, had the transmission rebuilt again. We have the best transmission guy out there for anybody who needs a transmission done. He is a very reputable transmission builder. He owned his own shop, a very reputable shop in this area, for about 20 years. And during COVID, he was so backed up and just didn't have adequate help, and he just got burnt out on building them. So he shut his shop down, but he still builds for a few people, and we happen to be one of the lucky people that he builds for. And he does us awesome, and he does great. When I called him and told him about the transmission going out again, I said, man, I know this is not on you. This is not your fault. This is not anything you've done. So what's it gonna cost for me to pull this thing out, bring it to you, and just go through it again? He said, we'll go through it. It ain't gonna cost you nothing but parts, because I was still under warranty, and he felt bad about it. And he really done me right. And this isn't the first one he's done me like that on. He's built a lot of transmissions for us over the years, and he is really good at what he does.
He and his wife both do a kick-ass job,
him
and they're
his
just
wife
kick-ass
both.
people.
They really are. They are cool folks. So we put the transmission back in, and we put a brand new drive shaft in it, brand new U-joints. And this round, since we got the brakes straightened out, we've put a couple of 100 miles on it so far, and we've done 2 torque braces. Most people only do 1. We done 2 torque braces on it, just because we wanted the extra stability and extra safety. So we've put a couple of 100 miles on it this time, and so far everything's good. I think the problem was that drive shaft. We had to go all the way through the brakes on this truck. I do mean all the way through the brakes. When I got the truck, the brake line was cut going to the back, and it was just pinched off with a pair of vice grips. So we had to go all the way through the brakes on the back, and then when we got new brake lines on it, we were still having bad brake problems, and we just couldn't figure out what was going on. And before it was all said and done, we put a brand new master cylinder on it. We put a brand new booster on it. We put brand new drums and brake pads on the back. We put brand new calipers and brake pads on the front, and we were still having problems. So everything was starting to point over towards the ABS module. But I said, well, let's check the bleeding one more time. Let's try to bleed this thing one more time and see if bleed it up at the master cylinder and see if we have anything coming out the master cylinder, because it really appeared that we just wasn't getting pressure. So to the front brakes, we were getting plenty When you open up the master cylinder, the reservoir, the line that goes to the back, we were getting absolutely nothing, just a drip. And that pointed towards it being the booster, the brand new booster we had just bought from AutoZone. So we took the booster off, took it back to AutoZone, got another one, got it all put together. Oh, and we put a proportioner valve on the truck, a new proportioner valve. We got it all put back together, and everything seems good with the brakes now. They're a lot better. As you can see, we still have a few things that we have to do to the truck. We need a new grill, grill shell anyways. We're gonna put new lights in it. All of that if we keep it long enough. As you can see, the body is actually in pretty good shape on this truck. The truck has no rust whatsoever. It's been a Southern truck its entire life. I think it actually came from probably Texas to begin with, and then it ended up in Louisiana, came up through Mississippi, and then ended up here. We'll show y'all the inside of the truck.
And all of that was quite a story in itself.
That was. We'll get to that here in a second. That was a crazy story. But as you can see, the headliner is starting to come down a little bit in places, right through here and right up the windshield. That's nothing serious on these trucks. I mean, it happens to all of them. All these mid 2000s, early 2000s, all of them do that. This seat right here, as you can see, it ripped up front, and then it just kind of come undone. You normally don't see them like that. They're normally right here or right through here. The dash is in really good shape, just needs to be cleaned up. We hadn't got around to getting any wipes. We took it to the car wash, but we didn't have no wipes to do the dash.
It doesn't have a whole crazy ton of miles on it.
It doesn't.
Either.
The truck only has 171,000 miles on it. And now it's been completely rebuilt. I mean, rear end's been built, transmission, engine. Keep it long enough, I'll be doing the front end too to match the gears in the rear end, because it does need new axles. That's still something we have to do. But as you can see, the inside's in pretty good shape. It's not bad. These front seats, I don't know if they're actually the correct seats to the truck. I don't think these or the back ones are. These might be, but I don't think that they are. Back seats, as you can see, why I say that, it's got the leather back seats, but I would like to find the leather front seats to match them, because I just like them better. But yeah, we went to, I got this truck, like I said, I traded a Yukon for it, and the title, the guy had never had it tagged. The guy that I got it from had never had the truck tagged. It still had an open title out of Louisiana. And I had the truck for, I don't know, 6-7 months before we decided to go ahead and tag it, because we thought we were going to have everything done soon. And I went to tag it, and that's when I learned that if you have a title issued out of the state of Louisiana, that title has to be notarized. And this title was not notarized. And shortly after that, I had another truck online for sale, and someone seen the picture of this one in the background. No, it was right before that. And that guy contacted me, and he said, man, I owned that truck. I actually have a key that I need to give you for the truck. I don't live too far from you. And I go, man, I didn't get this truck from you. And I talked to him, asked a few questions, and that's when I learned that, the truck had a pretty wild history the last couple of years. Learning about where he bought it from. He told me he bought it from a guy out of Mississippi, and then he sold it to the guy that I bought it from. Well, I tracked down the guy on the title to get the title notarized. When they told me I had to have the title notarized. And he said, yeah, man. He said, I'll sign the title for you. He said, but actually, why don't you just sell me the truck? And I go, man, the truck's not really for sale right now at this moment. But can you notarize this title for me? Yeah, man. You just have to come down here to Louisiana. So we hop in the car and we make the 7.5 hours down to Alexandria.
The very next day.
The very next day, exactly. And we had the title notarized, no problem. And that's when he proceeded to tell me that he sold it to a buddy of his who was supposed to sell it back to him. It was on like a short-term loan type thing. Well, I guess his buddy just sold it to the guy over somewhere. That guy sold it to the guy in Mississippi. The guy in Mississippi sold it to the guy that lives close to me. And the guy close to me sold it to the guy that I got it from. No one, it went through that many people. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It went through 5 people without ever being tagged.
And being driven very little.
Yeah, and being driven very little. Because, I mean, like I said, the truck, it hasn't necessarily been abused. They just did not take proper care of the truck. It had some maintenance issues that had popped up, that pop up on all of these mid-2000s trucks that they had just not addressed. They had just, well, they just addressed wrong. And they just kind of rigged everything back together. But the truck is rust-free completely. It has a few dings and dents, you know. Well, it has that ding right there.
And some scrapes.
Yeah, it's got a few scrapes and scratches, but nothing serious at all.
And nothing that's not pretty standard with all of these trucks.
No, not at all. Like I said, most of them now, it's getting to the point. It's harder to find a mid-2000s with no rust.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, most of them are just rotted. You know, and it's just getting to that point. They're just starting to rot, which is sad. But like I said, it's a good truck. We don't know yet if we're going to keep the truck. We're actually needing to buy us a new wrecker.
Or buy us a truck to turn into
Or buy us a
wrecker.
truck to turn into a wrecker. So we're on the lookout for like a crew cab dually diesel.
So we can put a wheel lift.
Yeah, that we can put a wheel lift on. And that or one that's already made up, either way. But that's what we're on the hunt for.
Something
right
we can
now.
tote the boys around in, and that can handle all our needs as far as that goes.
We put so many miles on trucks to go get trucks, and just in life in general with everything that we do, we just need a newer. The wrecker we have, it's a good old wrecker, but it's exactly that, an old wrecker. And it don't get great fuel mileage whatsoever. It gets the job done. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I wouldn't be scared to take the truck just about anywhere. But you're gonna suck through a lot of gas on the way.
And there's also no room for the boys.
Yeah, and there's no room for the boys whatsoever. But it is a pretty good old truck. But this one right here, and then when we got the truck, all the stuff that was inside this truck was crazy.
Man,
we
there's
went to
so
cleaning
much
this
crazy stuff, and it's not stuff from just one person.
No.
This truck hadn't been cleaned out through all the people had been through.
Yeah, there were. We found bullets. We found condom wrappers. We found firecrackers. There were tools in all the doors. Love letters. There were love letters to a guy in this truck. It was just crazy, everything that was in this truck.
We still find little things
Yeah,
here and
we
there.
really do.
A little over a year later.
Little tools and pieces of this and that and another. It's just crazy. It was like its own little time capsule in a way. It was cool. But we don't know exactly, like I said, if we're going to keep the truck yet or not.
We just wanted to share the story with you a little bit.
Share the story a little bit more.
It's a wild one.
Yeah, and kind of share the history of it a little bit more. And
not as crazy as the rat story, but
no, it's not as crazy as hell. It's nowhere
definitely
near
a good
the craziest story we have. Period.
Oh, definitely not.
But it's still a good story on the truck. Like I said, it's been a wild ride on this truck. This truck was, I got this truck intending it to be a quick flip type situation, and it turned into over a year project before it was all said and done. Because like I said, we started digging into the truck, and every time we started working on this, then we'd notice something else that they had just rigged together. So we had to go back and fix that properly and fix that.
Basically undo to redo.
Yeah, exactly. We had to do a lot of that to this truck. But I think we're finally, hopefully, starting to get it all good and sorted out. We'll see where it goes. We appreciate y'all watching. like us, share, subscribe, tell everybody you know. We appreciate it. It gives us the motivation to keep doing these videos and keep bringing this kind of stuff to y'all. And we don't just do truck stuff and vehicle stuff, I guess you could say. It's just not our life in general. And,
wherever the road takes us,
yeah,
I guess.
wherever the road takes us. And we got a couple of more videos to do that we're going to be showing y'all some things that we got coming up. And our new road dog. So y'all stay tuned, and we appreciate y'all watching.